Evening folks, back at the CD175 this evening. The valve stem seals are turned up, so that really didn't take a long time. That was great. And all we have to do now is put everything back together in the reverse of the way we took them apart. So here we go. So I've got my bags out, which I labelled with all the parts a couple of days ago, and you can see that we have our exhaust parts here, exhaust valve. There's stem seals on the exhaust valve, but there's none on the intake by the looks of things on these bikes. So you can see there, exhaust valve seems to be the only one that has them. So we're going to put a new stem seal into this cap. We're going to put it on and put our spring back on with the valve compressor, and put our two little collets, they call them. I call them keepers. We're going to put them in, and that'll be them valves finished. Okay, so you'll see that I have two of the valves put back in, and the little collets are back in place. Now, one thing I'm going to point out is it's very important to hit them a little tap with the hammer if you can, just to make sure that they're seated properly in place. Because if you look back on my videos for the Honda CB125 RS, you'll see that one of them was defective, and the little ridge on it had kind of wore away or broke off or something, and I put them in and it didn't grip the little place on the valve here. You'll see the little step in the valve that's meant to catch it. It didn't catch that, and it came loose, and it bent the valve and may as well have destroyed the whole engine. So do be careful and make sure that they're seated properly, and check your collets before you put them in to make sure that they're in good condition. Okay, so this is one of the little collets out of the valve, and you'll see that it has a narrow side and it has a wider side, and the narrow side is what you would put in first, so it would face down the way like that. But you'll see also that there's a little if I can focus, there's a little step on it there, see, in the middle. And sometimes they can get it worn and they don't grip the valve then, and that could cause an awful lot of trouble for you. So do be very careful and take a good look at them, make sure that they're right. There is another type in these that I had on the RS 125 that had a little ridge that caught the valve instead of a step, and the ridge can get worn away too. So just whatever type it is, take a good look at them and make sure that they're in good condition. Now, I would film me trying to get all this put back together, but unfortunately it's just such a fidgety job that I can't do it without a head camera or something on me. Another of the issues is setting the thing up. I suppose I could record just me putting the valve seal into the cap and putting the cap on to the exhaust side, so I'll do that. But after that I can't really show you as much else, because it's too fidgety a job putting the valve compressor down and trying to get these little collets into place. Okay, so this was the little cap that goes down and holds the valve stem seal into place, and you'll see the new valve stem seal beside it. The old valve stem seal is still in here, so I'm going to poke that out, and then I'm going to put this in exactly as you see it there. You can see the little ridge coming up on the top of it. That's how it would go into this. So we'll try and just tap that out of there. Yeah, it's nearly at the bottom here. Yeah, there it is, out. That's the old one, and we're going to just put the new one in pretty much the same way. Making sure that the little ridge is into the right place. So there you go, that's that in place now. You can't really see it that well. And then we turn that up and we put it onto the top of the valve stem. I can't do it with the phone because I need two hands, so that's all I can show you about that. Okay, so all the valves are now put back in with the new seals. There's the one of the old seals there. The other one's in this box somewhere. There it is there. we're going to do our leak down test now. So I'm going to put a little bit of WD-40 into these bowls, and we'll see if it stays there. And if it stays there, it's a good job. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to fill them up now and see what we get. By the way, it's a wise idea to use old plugs if you're going to do this with oil. So the idea would be to fill them up as good as you can. Try not to let any leak around the place that might confuse you. Fill them up as far as you can get them. WD-40 is quite fizzy stuff. Now, you can see we have that pretty well filled up there. And we'll just leave it there for a few minutes and see how much of it we lose, if any. Shouldn't be losing any, but if it's leaving it very, very, very slowly, it mightn't be a big issue. Right, so we'll come back in about 2 minutes and see what we got. Okay, so it's been about 2 or 3 minutes now, and you can see that they've not lost any. There's no sign of any wet in there in the exhaust areas or on the table below the any other pieces of it, so we're good. It's a good job and it's well sealed up, so I'm happy. Now I just have to get a bit of toilet tissue and soak up the stuff out of these, and that's job done. Okay, so just before I go this evening and leave yous for this video, I thought I'd show you a few things that I managed to get a hold of. And the first thing is on this CD175, you'll see that the side panels are in very poor condition. Chrome, it's inevitable, will happen. There's nothing you can do once it's gone this far. I did try to approach a company to see if they would re-chrome them, but the minute that they heard petrol tank, they said nope straight away, because they were afraid of it contaminating their tanks, basically. So there wasn't really a lot that I could do about that. But then a couple of weeks ago, a whole tank actually came up on the eBay, and it was quite a nice tank compared to this one. This one's quite bad inside and everything, but I bid on it and I won. But the guy wouldn't send me the tank. He said that some of the companies that deliver stuff wouldn't take it because it was an ex-petrol tank and they were worried about fire and all that stuff. So I asked him to take the panels off it, because it was the panels that I really wanted the tank for. So I'll show you those. Those turned up. I think I may have shown you in another video, but if I didn't, this is them here. So you'll see that they are much nicer. They're not perfect by any means. You can see it. There's a little tiny bit of pitting in them. But for, I don't know what, a 60-year-old bike, I think they're doing alright. And you're wondering, well, how could they have kept that well for so long? Well, the evidence is on the back of them. And this is exactly what I do as well. Whenever I get chrome and it's going to be sitting in the shed for a while, you should always do this. You'll see that slathered on the back of it is a good thick coating of very sticky grease. And that's what you want to be putting all over this during the winter. If you're storing bikes with chrome, you should always cover it meticulously in grease. And then come the summertime, when you're going to be using it or taking it out to shows or whatever, then you would take it off with good boiling hot water and stuff like that. And then, sorry, the neighbours are quite noisy there. Back to my conversation. Yeah, you would get boiling hot water and soap and just wash it off and then polish it up, and that's good for the summer. So that's how you keep chrome in a kind of a decent condition. So there was that, and then I just happened to be trawling through the internet because I'm looking for a Honda CG125. My father used to have one. I'm looking for a really old one, Mark 1, and I found this tank. This tank was listed as being off a CG125, but it's not. It's off a CB125RS, and it's new old stock, so it's never been on a bike, and it is immaculate inside. Look at this paint, which means I've no painting to do now on the panels, because all the good panels I got up there are off a bike that was like a year old when it crashed. So I think I'm just gonna, there is the odd little mark now, very, very slight. I'm not gonna repaint it because of that. So I am leaving it as it is, and I am leaving the other panels as they are. And the only thing I will really have to paint on this bike now is the frame, if I ever get the frame sorted out. And the other little bits like the hubs and small things. So that's really good news that I got that there. And dent free. So, very happy. Things are starting to go my way and progress, guys. I do have this other tank, other RS tank. I've actually got two of them. There's that one. And there's this one in under here, which isn't as good. Inside, it's quite bad inside, actually. But I have them. If anyone wants a tank for a CB125 RS. And this blue one's decent inside, so it is. It's pretty good. Give me a shout, or let me know, and I'll sort out postage for you and whatever. So that's it, guys. That ends the video for the day. Thank you very much for watching and listening. To get a brand new tank for a 40-year-old bike, that's rare. It just never happens. I'm just so over the moon about that one, and it's only because it was listed as the wrong bike. Okay, guys, see you later.